Exodus chapter 7. All right. Before that, we always want to give um, honor to the Lord God of heaven, the great God that keepeth covenants and mercies for them that love him and observe his commandments. And then to his son, who is our king, who is exalted to be our prince and savior, apostle and high priest of our profession, whom the Father hath chosen to reconcile us back to him. So we thank God for Son, and then everybody that's with us, whether you're elder, mother, brother, sister, even young children, even those online that's engaged, participating, all the partakers of the heavenly calling. We thank God for each and every one of you. Okay? So we don't have no questions. We are going to go right to our chapter reading. This is Exodus chapter 7. Exodus chapter 7. And let me try to get, yeah. Okay. Let's do 3 verses. Let's do the 3 verses.
And Yahweh said unto Moses, See, I have made thee a god to Pharaoh, and Aaron thy brother shall be thy prophet. Thou shalt speak all that I command thee, and Aaron thy brother shall speak unto Pharaoh, that he send the children of Israel out of his land. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt.
All right. All right. Well, let me just open it up. Anybody have anything for the first 3 verses? Anything stood out to anybody for the first 3 verses? Okay. All right. So just I know sometimes we drag out and things that probably don't need to be dragged out too much, but it's still important. In verse 1, it says, Yahweh said unto Moses, See, I have made thee a god to Pharaoh. Okay. Now, if he's saying that to Moses, I made thee a god to Pharaoh, is he saying that Moses now the Most High? Is that the reference he's giving? That I'm going to make you the Most High to Pharaoh? What does that God stand for? Go ahead, brother Kai. Say that again, though. Hold on real quick, Kai.
Yeah.
I think that's the sister, what the sister said. What was that?
Powerful.
Powerful to Pharaoh? Absolutely. That fall under. All right, go ahead, brother Kai.
Yeah, she answered it perfectly. It's the power. Verse 3 says, And I will harden Pharaoh's heart and multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt. So basically when Pharaoh see all these wonders and stuff's going on, Moses is going to seem powerful, in the sight of Pharaoh.
Good point. Good point. All right, this is some extracurricular questions, right? When it comes to the Hebrew, beloved, is there capital and lowercase letters in the Hebrew? Not you, Kai, right now.
No.
No. Anybody else? They got to know. What's her thoughts? Is there capital or lowercase letters when it comes to the Hebrew?
No.
A second notice, sisters are on one accord. Okay. All right. So no, right? Why these things is good to know when we understanding certain things, beloved. Okay. But however, sometimes when it's translating over, they'll do certain things like that to kind of distinct between certain things. Like some people are, when it's a big G, it means that there's no big G or little g when it comes to it. Okay. But sometimes they'll try to make it distinct to say, okay, this is dealing with God the Most High, and this one's dealing with, it can be something different, okay? Because they know that Moses can't be the Most High God, right? So sometimes you'll have them as the writers, translators putting that in there to kind of give the sense to certain things. We're gonna go because made thee a God, all right? People get caught up when they hear God. You know, somebody says, oh, you're a God to somebody, you know, some people lose their mind. Okay. If you have to have understanding of, I won't say language, but you know, languages is important when it comes to it because sometimes we will grab our culture and how we understand language and apply it to this, and it might not fit to certain things or make sense. Okay, so when you just see God, that would not tell you exactly if it's talking about the Most High God or not. Okay, so let's just go to this for this sake because a lot of stuff for the story is kind of straightforward, so a lot of stuff can be reading through. Okay. And so once again, you might say, well, why they put, you know, the all caps for Lord? It is not all caps. This is the modern Hebrew, right? It's the modernized Hebrew. So you see, there ain't no uppercase, lowercase. It's just what it is. All right. The translators made it all caps to distinct that this is dealing with the Most High's name. That's why they put it all caps. So when you see Lord all caps, this is what the writers replaced. They didn't put the name, they gave it this title and put it all caps to distinct. This is dealing with the Most High. Okay, so you'll see Lord all caps, Most High. Then you can see Lord as in like lowercase Lord or Lord with a capital L, right? That can be I would say interchangeable. That can be dealing with anyone. Okay, so when you look at it, let's go to God. All right, and some of us might have heard of Elohim, right? Elohim. Okay, that's translation for it. All right, I forgot exactly how we'll say it if you're going more to the ancient tongue, exactly how I say it. But you look at it for this word, it shows you the biblical uses right here. So you see God, God, judge, God, you know, goddess. So they have different things. So when you look at it with some of these definitions, right? Rulers, judges, divine ones, angels, gods with lowercase s. I'm sorry, plural gods, right? So you'll see it can have different usage for this one word. Okay. I guess it's the same for the English, certain things that have different uses. So when you look at this, right, you see Elohim, it does not make a clear distinction that this is dealing with the Most High God. All right. So Most High God is not, he never tells somebody, all right, now they're the Most High God. No. Okay. This is why he's using God. And but the Kai go a little deep in it because he dived into the Hebrew. He will say something like my power. Okay, so that's another thing. We understand God is a power. Once again, like you think, a ruler, a judge, divine one. So when you go to this, I'm only saying this because you might hear certain people use it and say certain things, and I don't want you thinking it's blasphemy. You just have to have understanding, right? A perfect example is Psalms 83. Where it is. Say, your gods, but you'll die like men. Okay. So he's saying, he's calling, and this is talking about us, beloved. He was saying, ye are gods, but you're gonna die like man. Okay. So he's showing that distinction, but you're gonna die. You ain't like the Most High. You ain't die nothing. And he's given that kind of understanding or breakdown to it. Okay. So I'll just show it just so we can all catch it. So just in case you never heard it before. Okay. So I remember hearing that before, like, whoa, I don't want to put myself, but you're not. As long as you know we said little g, as long as you know you're a little g. So I'm gonna go to show us another passage with it. Kai, it's 83, right? Psalms 83? 82, it's one of them.
81 to 83. One of them, one of the three.
I mixed it up now. Okay. Crafty Council. No, I know it's a short chapter, so it got to be like 80. This is the short one. Let me see. Yes. All right. So, matter of fact, I ain't gonna go that deep into it today. All right. So, verse 6. All right. Verse 6. Listen to this, beloved. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. Okay. So this is scripture, right? that he's saying what? Ye are gods. But who is the gods he's talking about? He using plural. All of you are children of the Most High. Okay, so he's referring to people as gods, and this is scripture. If you even want to get another context of this, remember Christ used this same scripture on the Pharisees. He said, didn't your law say ye are gods? This is what he's talking about. Okay. However, when he's talking about gods, we are supposed to be like rulers. Okay. Remember, the whole inheritance thing we got, we were supposed to be the rulers of the earth. Okay. This is why I went to the definition, because if you're just hearing people saying that don't understand, oh, God, I just talk about the Most High God. No, that can be. But the term God is more of a title. This is why it has these uses. Rulers, judges. Okay. Another law was do not revile the gods. Paul referenced to this one. Why is he using S? Why is it plural? Because it's not talking about the Most High. This was talking about the judges and the rulers of the people when he called them a white as wall. He's referring to this. Okay. So we see Elohim and everything. It is a title that you can get to the Most High because he's the supreme power, the supreme judge. Yes, that's why you put that Most High. Okay. We wouldn't get the title Most High because what? There's stuff higher than us. Okay. So when you see God, don't get all blasphemy. You have to have understanding. But if somebody's saying they are the Most High and they put anywhere close to that realm, no, they're blaspheming. Okay. But if they're talking about gods and the respect of ruler, judge, something like that, that was perfectly fine. Okay. I know I didn't have to probably go that route, but just wanted to show it just in case you run into it. Okay. So when you see this, said unto Moses, see, I have made thee a God to Pharaoh. It's not blasphemy. This is not some other the translator try to make God get it. Ain't nothing like that. It is correct. It's just you have to have understanding of what it's saying. Okay. So all caps, the Most High said unto Moses, the same one we talked to him the whole time, I have made thee a God to Pharaoh. Okay. And Aaron thy brother shall be thy prophet. Okay. He shall be thy spokesman. This is the understanding and the knowledge even of how God and the prophets work, right? We see how Moses and Aaron work. Moses, you get the message. Moses will say it to Aaron, and Aaron will what? Then speak it. Or you can say prophesy, however you, whatever's best for you, right? So he will speak it. The prophet's supposed to what? Relay the message, not remix the message, not make it conform to how he wanted. He's relaying the message. Okay. So Moses is in that state, right? Put him in that kind of position. And then Aaron's going to be basically the mouthpiece because Moses was basically complaining about that the whole time. Okay. All right. Thou shalt speak all that I command thee, which every prophet should do. And Aaron thy brother shall speak unto Pharaoh that he shall send the children of Israel out of his land. Okay. The whole thing is send them out. Okay. Not send them out permanently. Remember, he was saying send them out so they can do my feast and do the sacrifices. That's the whole thing. That's all he asked them to do. Let them go out to do that. Okay. But of course, the Most High know what? And I will harden Pharaoh's heart. So he's always gonna, renege or whatever is gonna go. He's gonna harden his heart. Why? What's the point of that? Because the Most High does everything for a reason. And what? And multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt. All right. Because I don't want to just give him one plague. I could give him one plague and have him. No. I want to hit him with multiple plagues. Okay. So this is all part of plan. The Most High showing it early, right? So we can understand him. Okay. This stuff is for us to learn. All right. Nobody else got anything from Exodus 1 through 3? If not, we are going to keep on going. Let me see. Make sure y'all check the box for me. Sometimes I can't have that many screens up. The chat. All right. Nobody's in the chat. So let's go. We can keep going. 4 to 6. 4 to 6, brother.
The Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that I may lay my hand upon Egypt and bring forth mine armies and my people, the children of Israel, out of the land of Egypt by great judgments. And the Egyptians Egyptians shall know that I am Yahweh when I stretch forth my hand upon Egypt and bring out the children of Israel from among them. And Moses and Aaron did as Yahweh commanded them, so did they.
All right. Anybody see anything from verse 4 through 6? Anybody see anything from 4 to 6?
Yeah, he's establishing that they're going to know who he is by the time Israel leaves, because all these little gods that Egypt has, they have no power, I guess you would say, over the Most High, and he's going to demonstrate his power because with the water and with the frogs and with all these different plagues, they had gods for them, and their gods they call on them, but their gods couldn't stop what the Lord had basically had for that he was going to do. Their gods were meaningless to that.
Exactly. So I say, Most High, he you know, they say 2 birds, 1 stone. He be knocking out 3 or 4 birds with 1 stone. Okay. So this is another reason, like the elder point out, of why he's hitting with multiple plagues. Okay. And once again, so that they will know my name. Not that, because they already knew this is the God of Israel, right? They already knew, okay, this is the God they're claiming. Their God is saying, let them go out and sacrifice to them and everything. So he understood their God, right? But he's saying that he may know, you know, my name, know my reputation. What this God got power, right? Know the characteristics of the God. Okay, so remember I told you about name. Name can be the actual name. It can be also the reputation or the fame or the characteristic of something. Okay, they're going to know I'm a true living God because they don't know that yet. They've been dealing with these false gods, but they're going to know there's a God that lives, reigns, and has power. Okay, all the world got gods and they doing all this stuff and they have all these claims, but we're going to actually see some stuff. Okay, and they're going to realize, nah, their God is real. Okay. All right. So I'm going to bring my armies, verse 4, I'm going to bring my armies and my people, the children of Israel, out of the land of Egypt by great judgments. Okay, by great judgments. And when we understand what the Most High does, these things is judgments. Okay. He let us out by judgments, right? Hitting them with them plagues and everything. All right. He's judging, well, I would say judging the Egyptians, right? With the plagues. Let me see if there's anything else. No. Okay, we keep going. Make no notes with that. What verse are we at? Read the verse.
Verse 7.
All right.
And Moses was 80 years old, and Aaron 83 years old, when they spake unto Pharaoh, and Yahweh spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, when Pharaoh shall speak unto you, saying, shew a miracle for you, then thou shalt say unto Aaron, take thy rod and cast it before Pharaoh, and it shall become a serpent.
That's three. Yep. That's 3. Okay. Anybody got anything from 7 through 9? All right. I know I got a quick question. Oh, what we got?
Giving on to the Most High and everyone on the chat. I read this I guess many times, but I just realized that in verse 8, it says, and the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron. You know, I always took it as he spoke to Moses and then Moses related to Aaron, but he spoke to both of them. That's all.
Yeah, I'm glad you pointed that out. That is something that I read this time, but I wasn't sure you know how the Lord said he spake to us, but he didn't speak directly to us. So I was wondering if it was not a play on words, but
how they worded.
Yeah, like Moses speaking to him, but that is the Most High speaking to him. It's just not because, well, we already know later on, like he gets on Mary and him, like, listen, I speak to y'all in dark sayings, but I speak to Moses kind of differently. So it seemed like there was
face to face, right?
Yeah, like so it has to be some kind of difference, But that's something I was looking at. I was like, huh. So we'll keep it on ice though. But yeah,
Okay.
that's a good point. That's a good point. All right. Oh, yeah, no, I'm gonna ask you 4 scores. How much is that? Challenge time.
80.
Right. Perfect. All right. Elder, can you explain how you got 80? For those that might not know how to get it.
I think a score is 20. What's
Mhm.
80?
There you go. So you see a score, that's 20. So if it's 3 score, 20, 40, 60, do the math. So he's 80, and Aaron is 4 score and 3, so he's 83. All right. Aaron is older. Okay. So this is when they spoke to Pharaoh. So Moses seasoned man. All right. And another thing to look at this, beloved, is because we've been seeing Moses doubt and everything. He's an older man doing this. Okay. Like a young pup, he's an older man. So when we look at some of these things, like I said, we always want to rake it into ourselves. Okay. The Most High likes to show the vulnerability and the weaknesses and sometimes the flaws of the men and women of God and everything, not just to expose them, but to what? For us also. Because a lot of times Satan used that, you're not this, you should be here and all this stuff and everything. But we should be reading and understanding that, no, don't let that hold you back. Okay. So even with faith, we see Moses lacking some faith. Get to the people, the leader lacking faith. All right. But instead of just giving up, well, we got to keep pressing. All right. All right, let's go. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Unless somebody has something, somebody have anything. I don't see nothing in the chat. So, okay.
Verse 10. And Moses and Aaron went in unto Pharaoh, and they did so as Yahweh had commanded. And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent. Then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers. Now the magicians of Egypt, they also did in like manner with their enchantments, for they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents, but Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods.
All right. Anybody got anything from 10 through 12? You got anything from 10 through 12? All right. So he said, listen, most I already knew. He's like, listen, he gonna ask you, show me something, right? And he's saying you're gonna throw it down, throw the rod down, and it's gonna turn into a serpent. And that would have scared us, beloved. That would have probably got us to, believe a little bit. But with Pharaoh, he had his magicians and chanters and all that stuff. So he looked upon them, right? And through enchantment, it says they did the same thing. Went down and what? It turned into serpents, and it just says Aaron's the rod that he had that turned into a serpent just ate them up. Okay. Some people dive into what that can represent and everything, but the main thing is that wasn't enough for Pharaoh. You're like, oh yeah, that's a good trick your God did, but we can do the same thing. Okay. So there's a lot of stuff and that even the Most High do allow, right? Sometimes he allows certain things to even doubt and ponder, all those kind of things to see if you really, sometimes, do you really believe, right? And sometimes, like we said, we understand this is for certain purposes and everything, but sometimes, beloved, there's certain things he can make very clear, right? He can make himself very clear to everybody that there'll be no doubt, right? But for us, we have to go through some things, all right? He don't want it, not say want it clear like that, but sometimes to see would you have faith? That's where the faith is at. And where our faith is at, is it in miracles? Now, I'm going off the subject, but where is our faith at? Because this has been a problem for us for a long time. We got caught up in the miracles, and our belief was only attached to miracles. What happened when the Most High don't want to do a miracle? Is your faith now gone with it? Okay. So this is why it's very hard even for some people now. Like, there's some enchanters out there now. There's some sorcerers. The Most High didn't say he destroyed all of them out. There are going to be some people that can do some convincing things. And if you are not equipped with the true knowledge of God, it can deceive you. People used to ask, you think those people, what's them psychic people? What's the one famous psychic person? He's like, call me now. She was doing a lot of
Leo.
what was her name?
Cleo.
Yeah. Y'all know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So Cleo, like, call me now. People say, is that true? You think she could, figure out certain things? I'm like, there's a capacity where if she went to that side, it's not saying that she couldn't get certain things, right? But a lot of stuff is dealing with enchantress and dealing with I won't say dark magic, but it's dealing with that kind of side, we'll say the dark side or whatever. All right. You can grab certain things. All right. And the reason why with some of that stuff it's allowed, because most High can just shut some of that down. Some of that stuff can be accurate until they get to stuff like now when they start saying they talk to your dead relative and they don't, no, they're not doing that. That's they just being deceived, and you can deceive with it, but they do not deal in that. All right. They'll say it, but that dead relative ain't speaking to them. Okay. So we understand these things. That's why, like I said, the Most High allows certain things, but we have the knowledge. That's why I said, don't even entertain that stuff. That's why I said, don't be letting the witch live, because you just taking that risk to be deceived. Okay. And I was thinking about this a couple of weeks. What is Satan's title? We blame a lot of things on Satan. What is Satan? What's his title? Sometimes the title will tell you what the job is. What did it say he was?
A deceiver.
Deceiver. People don't put that to heart. Because everybody blames Satan. Yeah, Satan made me do Satan and make you do nothing. What he do? He works in the realm of deception. The realm of, now segue to tomorrow, right, class? But temptation. He's not appointed to force you, because if he forced you, then it's not you. But he is, I want to use divine. He is a master at his craft of deception. He's a master at analyzing, understanding you and studying you and your weakness and using those things to deceive you. Okay. And that's with enchanters and all that. That's what it's about. It's about the deception aspect. Okay. So he works in that realm perfectly. The Most High gave him that to be able to do that. Elder, what you got?
He's a manipulator.
Yes.
He manipulates every situation into his own benefit.
Mm-hmm.
And he uses what common sense that we have sometimes. We don't use it. And we fall for, some people, like, well, it must be, Yah's trying to tell me something. And we're not praying about it to see if it's really his will or it's just our want. We got to differentiate between his will and our want. And sometimes we don't do that. We don't ask and pray about it. We just automatically think this is what it has to be and go with it just because that's something that we want to do.
Mm-hmm. The scriptures talk about that, desire upon your lust. He works in that. This is why you have to understand yourself. You have to know yourself. They say go on the court, they say you need to know your enemy. Don't know, just know decide you. They say you need to know your enemy better than they know themselves. That's how you truly win. Beloved, sometimes we're looking too far off. Get that mirror and you realize that's the person you got to defeat. Satan's studying that person right in the mirror. And this is what the scriptures, right, is only supposed to be a light, a mirror to you. So you can see the imperfections of yourself to say, all right, I gotta change that. I gotta maneuver that around. Okay. I don't like this kind of stuff. Guess what? Saying like, okay, see what they don't like. All right, let me bring that to them. It ain't cool. And the only thing, oh, it's coincidence. No, he's knowing what he's doing. He tell you straight out, that's what I'm doing. Scripture said, where you going? He going around like what? A roaring lion, seeking who he may devour. Who he may what? Deceive. That's his realm. That's how he wins. I got to deceive them. Question, to deceive you from what? He don't need to deceive you from a lie. That's why it seems you under that illusion that, oh, when you're out in the world, I didn't go through all that. I know you didn't. Why you already deceived? He don't need to do nothing with you. You say that they already done. I'm going to deceive. I need the fresh people, the people that's getting the truth. I got to get them out of it. I got to deceive them. But you make the choice. It's all about us, beloved. Book get real small. And it takes what? The blame out there. It's about you. Well, these situations are bad, but how do you react to them? The situation is going to be the situation. The situation is not the problem. Saying you. Okay. And some of it we'll get to tomorrow. So I ain't going to deal with some of it, but something to think about, beloved. He is a deceiver. All right. This is why I talk about James talking about, he can't do nothing. Right? A double-minded man's unstable in what? All his ways. Most High ain't trying to work in that. That's where the deception is at his best. When you double-minded. You don't know if I should be doing this or this or that. Most High like, nah, you got to be stable. Because you ain't going to know to give credit to the Most High or the devil. You're going to think it's luck and coincidence other than the favor of the Most High. He's like, nah, because he's a what? Jealous God. Okay? So remember, beloved, he is a deceiver. So when you are trying to do good, best believe he's there and he's going to make that hard. Okay? Why is he going to make it hard? Because he studied you and he knows what's going to make it hard for you. Okay? Once you get it, I guarantee you get in it, best believe something's going to happen. You somebody that love certain things, and the love don't have to be something wicked. Oh, you love the family, I'm going to use that against you. Oh, you love your job money? Okay, I can use that deception. He'll use it, all right? That's his job. And if we feel weak, we feel like that yearning for that is going to go against the Most High. This is where we ask the Most High for power. Okay, he's our Father. Think of like your natural father. You was going through something, you'll go to them. Right? He is that comforter, beloved. Okay, if we need it, he's that strength in that strong tower. All right, Brother Kai, let's keep going. Okay, let's see how Pharaoh responds. And we're going to be at, well, all right, we're going to be at verse 13. All right, so we're going to be at Exodus chapter 7, and we're going to be at verse 13. I know he might have stepped away. All right, let me read for a while.
No, I'm right here. My bad.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I had it on mute. My bad.
I know you're good. All right. So we're going to be at Exodus chapter 7, beloved. And we had 13, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Go from there.
And he hardened Pharaoh's heart, that he hearkened not unto them as Yahweh had said. And Yahweh said unto Moses, Pharaoh's heart is hardened, he refuseth to let the people go. Get thee unto Pharaoh in the morning. Lo, he goeth out unto the water, and thou shalt stand by the river's bank against he come, and the rod which was turned to a serpent shalt thou take in thine hand.
All right. Anybody got anything for those 3 verses? 13 through 15. Pretty much straightforward. Pharaoh didn't listen because his heart is hardened. All right. And that's the same thing that can happen to us, beloved. Okay. This is why it says, that you hear his voice, harden not your heart. Okay. I know sometimes it can be hard to hear certain things. The big thing where it's usually hard to hear it is sometimes because we have been probably taught something contrary to it, and it makes it hard to digest certain things, right? For example, if you've been taught, Sunday your whole life, then when you're in the Sabbath, just I won't say fleshly, but just naturally you're gonna resist it, right? So he said, listen, don't harden your heart. And primarily, the Most High has to give you the heart and mind to even, accept certain things. All right, beloved. But this is why I talk about that harden. It's not that Pharaoh just wanted to do good. He just couldn't do good at all because it's not that kind of stuff. All right. So when he's hard in his heart, he's letting him be who he is, but the real decision he wanted, because Pharaoh didn't want to let them go. Okay, that was clear from the beginning. Okay, so he's just letting him do. He's letting his heart be hardened from that. All right, let's keep going. Nobody got anything. I don't see nothing in the chat either.
Verse 16, and thou shalt say unto him, Yahweh thy power of the Hebrews have sent me unto thee, saying, Let my people go, that they may serve me in the wilderness. And behold, hitherto thou wouldest not hear. Thus saith Yahweh, and this thou shalt know, that I am Yahweh. Behold, I will smite with the rod that is in my hand upon the waters which are in the river, and they shall be turned to blood, and the fish that is in the river shall die, and the river shall stink, and the Egyptians shall loathe to drink of the water of the river.
Give me the next verse as well.
Come. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying unto Aaron, Take thy rod, and stretch out thine hand upon the waters of Egypt, upon their streams, upon their rivers, and upon their ponds, and upon all their pools of water, that they may become blood, and that there may be blood throughout all the land of Egypt, both in vessels of and in vessels of stone.
All right. So what's happening? What we got for 16 through 19? Anything stand out to anybody? Anything caught your eye? Verse 16 through 19.
Basically, he was saying even in the water that they had drawn before, that was turned to blood as well. So it wasn't like just what was there at the moment, the fresh or the pools and the rivers. What they had stored became blood. He turned everything to blood.
Very important. See, that's awesome to see some people got it. Why y'all think he did that? Why do you think the Most High suffered that to be? That made a great point. Why you get maybe the water that's stored and the water's in the pool? Why is he dealing with that too? And then just do the river? All right. So, beloved, you can, let's say primarily, you can go and do something or tamper with something in the river maybe and mess with all that. But when you got water that's stored, let's say there's some river out here and you pour, let's say let's say it turned to oil or whatever, right? First of all, that should be enough as a miracle, right? But it's even powerful if the water in my fridge it's already, I know it's water, I already took it away and it's already that, and then that turns into it as well, right? So he's touching all the water source, okay? So this is why it's very important that he's actually going into detail about the things, all that's turned into blood. Not just the, I used to think it was just the river, but no, even that's the waters in the pool and certain things, saying that all that's turned into blood. Why is he turning the water into blood? Well, one of the reasons, it could probably be multiple reasons. I would have said something earlier. Listen, why is he messing with the water? Why is he why is he specifying the river as well? Why is he turning that into blood? What was the purpose of these plagues, beloved?
Didn't they have a river god or something like that?
Mm-hmm. He's that God. Everything he touched, beloved, they had a God for. Absolutely. All right. And they were known definitely for that river. Okay. The Nile River and everything. This is why Egypt, that land can be so good, because the Nile will actually flood. And it will go out, flood, and then it will go back in. So what did that do? Made that soil and everything very rich. Okay. So it's a great water source, but all in all, anything that's good and providing life and sustaining someone, we always got to make a god or something out of it. So of course, it was a god. All right. I had the lesson where I had some of the gods they like some of the names they had for them. Gotta see in one of my notes, but yeah. Okay, so when we look at it, he's attacking because that was one of a big thing, the water source, and of course with water that just everybody's affected by that because you need the water. So it got everybody attention because he wanted it wasn't just something so Pharaoh would know about it, but all of Egypt were going to know about this God. All right, this God of the Hebrews. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Verse 20. And Moses and Aaron did so as Yahweh commanded, and he lifted up the rod and smote the waters that were in the river, in the sight of Pharaoh and in the sight of his servants. And all the waters that were in the river were turned to blood, and the fish that was in the river died, and the river stank. And the Egyptians could not drink of the water of the river, and there was blood throughout all the land of Egypt. And the magicians of Egypt did so with their enchantments, and Pharaoh's heart was hardened. Neither did he hearken unto them as Yahweh had said.
So 20 through 22, same thing, smiting, turning to blood. And the fish that was in the river died, and the river stank. And the Egyptians could not drink of the water of the river. So that's a big problem. All right. And this was out throughout the whole land of Egypt. And it said the magicians of Egypt did so with their enchantment. So they was this wasn't no slouch. They had some skill. They were doing their thing with it. All right. And when this happened, Pharaoh's heart was hardened. Neither did he hearken unto them as the Lord had said. And a lot of times it's happened the same thing, beloved. This is a battle that can go with a lot of us. We'll see something like, dang, that gotta be God's power. And then what? Something else will happen and try to what? Remove that from you. And Christ was referring to that kind of stuff with the parable of the seed, right? The word of God that plant that seed, and then somebody come around or something comes about and take that from you, okay? Because it's found his advice, he didn't have them, at least in the beginning part. We can say that maybe if he had those chances, he would have probably like, man, this is the true power of God. I've never witnessed something even like this, right? But he has what? This enchantment, this deception that now can say, nah, I can, y'all, your God doing some things, but our God, they fight and they deal with us too, So you see that that back and forth, okay? You can go and finish it up, Brother Cox, and go to the next chapter.
And Pharaoh turned and went into his house. Neither did he set his heart to this also. And all the Egyptians digged round about the river for the water to drink, for they could not drink of the water of the river. And 7 days were fulfilled after that Yahweh had smitten the river.
Right. So they had to make different arrangements so they can drink their water. Also, 7 days. All right. So we see one of God's numbers. I did find a note for it. So what I got was happy. It's like happy. HIPI. I don't know how to pronounce it, but that was a Nile River god. All right. The Nile River god. And when I was looking, sometimes they'll have different names depending on which historian you go to. Sometimes they'll have different namings for it, but what I seen was HAPI. So that's the Nile River god. So if you Google it, they'll show you the matchups. Okay. So the Nile River god, we see that's a god already that the Most High attacked. Okay. And that could be a foreshadow of what the snake was doing, right? They threw down their snakes on, they got some chances, but what? The Most High, with Aaron's rod that turned to a snake that ate it up, and he's going to show that I'm going to eat up all them gods when you think is God, eat all that up. Okay. All right. Exodus chapter 8. Exodus chapter 8. Do we got anybody got anything from chapter 7? Anything they wanted to share? Any questions? Any comments? All right, chapter 8.
And Yahweh spake unto Moses, Go unto Pharaoh and say unto him, Thus saith Yahweh, Let my people go, that they may serve me. If thou refuse to let them go, behold, I will smote all thy borders with frogs, and the river shall bring forth frogs abundantly, which shall go up and come into thine house, and into thy bedchamber, and upon thy bed, and into the house of thy servants, and upon thy people, and into thine ovens, and into thy kneading troughs.
Read the
And
next
the
verse.
fall shall come up both on thee and upon thy people and upon all thy servants.
All right. Anybody got anything from 1 through 4? The Most High gave a choice, beloved. Said unto Pharaoh, let my people go that they may serve me. That's it. I want you to let them go so they can serve me. That's all he had. A lot of times, the heathens got in trouble is because what? They was preventing his children from serving them, right? That wanted to serve him. I just put it like that, right? When we was being wicked and everything, that's different. But you know, you don't prevent them from serving me. Okay. But of course, he already knew he's going to refuse it, but he did lay it out there. All right. But if thou refuse to let them go, behold, I will smite all thy borders with frogs. And beloved, we know Aaron is saying this, but what is Aaron doing? He's prophesying. Sometimes we get caught up on the fanfare, everybody loves the beauty stuff and all this, they need a big show. But our most High God, we can see plainly how he deals with things, right? But if Aaron had to be like high, rolling all around the floor and slobbering, doing all this is prophesying he's doing, beloved. Getting the message from the Most High, giving it and delivering it. Okay? So this is all, and why I'm saying that is because we have to understand and break some of the molds that we have been taught. Okay? Because sometimes the Most High can be speaking to us, but we thinking, oh, it's not the Most High because something, it should be more dramatic. It should be, more magical. It should be something miraculous happening. No. Most High speak to you very, very soft voice. Very plain. Message is where the salvation lies. Why do you want to distort the message? And make that very plain. Okay? And we see that all through the scriptures. But let's get back to this. And if they refuse to let them go, I will smite them with frogs. So we know about the plague of the frogs. Okay? So he said frogs going to be coming out everywhere in their ovens. They ain't nowhere to escape. You're going to be having frogs coming out everywhere. Let's keep going. Well, on that.
5. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, say unto Aaron, stretch forth thine hand with thy rod over the streams, over the rivers, and over the ponds, and cause frogs to come up upon the land of Egypt. And Aaron stretched out his hand over the waters of Egypt, and the frogs came up and covered the land of Egypt. And the magicians did so with their enchantments, and brought up frogs upon the land of Egypt.
Question. Beloved, was the rod being stretched out necessary for the miracle to happen? For the plagues to happen? Was the rod necessary for the plagues to happen? And if so, why? Maybe we could do some miracles. We need that rod. Any thoughts on that? Or what do you think was the point of that? What do you think the point of the rod was for? So when we look at this, beloved, a lot of things, right? When Most High is doing something, who is he trying? Well, I say so I give the answer. I'll just give it. So when you're dealing with the Most High, some things he does not for. Oh, somebody had something? Oh, I heard somebody go off mute. What you got?
In regards to just like Samson, and it was his hair, but it wasn't his hair. It's just symbolic. So he used the rod so the people could see, like just like he turned into a serpent, a visual aid. So I think.
Yes. Remember, Israel are babes at this time. When I'm talking about babes, they not, I mean, some of them do some stuff and everything, but you see how Moses was doubting and faithless and all that stuff. So a lot of times starting off, we talked about this a few weeks ago, starting off, Most High sometimes does some things. He does some miraculous things. He does some, he might do something in your dream when you first hearing the truth, or he might have this random person come to, he might do some of those things when you're first starting off to what? Take that first step in that faith. And so you beginning your walk, right? He still need to let them know, I'm your God, because what? All of them might not fully believed, right? And the one thing he don't want you doing is giving praise to something else outside of him. So that rod could, like I said, it could be different breakdowns for it, but that rod is to show, all right, this is your God doing. All right, you lay the rod out, it's this. Then rod doing this. So we know this is not no coincidence that, oh man, the water turned to blood. That's crazy what happened. That's a miraculous event that happened. Oh, frogs coming out. No, they're looking at every time we see the rod come out, we see this happen. Now the rod come out, now this plague happened. It's like, wait up. It's something with them that these plagues is coming upon us. All right. And the people of Israel can look and say, that's our God working for us. This ain't something just happening. Because remember, a lot of enchanters and all that stuff, they always be able to explain something. Right? For the most part, they always got some explanation. That's why Nebuchadnezzar time, he said, listen, I'm not telling you the whole part of the dream. He said, I need y'all to y'all need to tell me the other part. Because how they work is you tell them something and they will tell you, oh, this is what that means. All right. You know what I mean? That's the realm they work in. You don't know, it's a mystery. So when you don't know something, I can just tell you anything and I'll make it sound a little good. You might believe it. So he leaving that kind of stuff right now, taking all that kind of stuff out. Nope, they see every time. All right. He pulled the rod over the water. Now the water's like this. Now he put it right over it. Now the frog's coming. So he's letting us see and know. Okay. But beloved, you are not supposed to stay there in your walk. Right. I just need a miracle. If I don't get a miracle, I don't believe. If I don't get a miracle, I don't believe. That is not where you're supposed to stay. Okay. What Paul even bringing out about the tongues. He said, tongues are not for them that believe. For what? The unbeliever. The unbeliever need miracles. The unbelievers need to see these kind of things. Well, why was Christ doing that when he's coming to see? Because he what? He was dealing with a lot of unbelievers. They weren't going to just believe him, that he was the one, the prophet. They're like, nah, we got to see something. So the miracles and miraculous things and the healing, all that was to what? Get them to jump. Wait, this person's sent of God. Now then, when I get your attention that this person's sent from God, now what? I can give you the words that God's saying, right? But they wouldn't even got it from that, okay? So this is where we see the pattern that the Most High use, okay? But don't stay in that boat. So a lot of people, they'll get on, they'll get right off because the wrong thing, drawing you and trying to keep your attention. No, he's not going to stay with giving you miracles and things like that. You always need to see a sign. But Lord, I need to see a sign if it comes to Sabbath. You gotta give me a sign of eating clean. You gotta give me a sign that he ain't gonna give you a sign for everything. He might have gave you some signs in the beginning to what? To say, get into my book. So I have to keep showing you something. Some things you can just read and get it. And then when it becomes difficult where it's maybe not plain, then you seek it in the spirit. Well, you should be seeking in the spirit when you read as well. But that's what it was for. But people want a sign for every little thing. He said, a wicked and perverse generation seeketh after their sign. Parable of Lazarus, what he said. He said, let me go back and warn my family. So they don't be in the same condition as me. They ain't in this condition of hell like I am. Let me go back. Surely they'll believe if I come back from the dead. But beloved, people still won't believe. Because this thing is about a mind thing, and this mind can be very, very deceiving. Well, Satan deceiving with his mind go back and forth. But people don't catch the end of that parable. He said, they have Moses and the prophets. That's what I'm going to give you. If you don't want to believe it from there, then you just want to be out of luck. And I don't want to be mean about it, beloved, but I'm just letting you know. Sometimes he'll suffer these things to happen. But if you think your whole journey, you're just going to be getting signs and miracles, wrong thing, beloved. That's not how he works. All right? You can't stay, when you're a babe, beloved, you're on the milk for a certain amount of time, but you can't be grown and still trying to, get the milk. Okay? So those signs is for when we starting this walk. But once you believe that word of God, then get in it. And then he'll reveal things like that. Okay? All right, Brother Kai, you're talking too much. So where we at?
Verse 10. Verse 8. Verse 8.
Verse 8. All right, so we got these frogs coming out of everywhere. And verse 7 said, and the magicians did so with their enchantment and brought up frogs upon the land of Egypt. Okay, so these soothsayers and stuff he had that Pharaoh got, they doing some things, beloved. And this is what I'm saying. They can get tricky. Okay, it can get tricky. So this is why you can't be caught up with, somebody doing certain signs, because you get the one that tapped into certain things will have you tricked. Okay, so let's see where Pharaoh's at. Verse 8.
Then Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron and said, entreat Yahweh that he may take away the frogs from me and from my people, and I will let the people go, that they may do sacrifice unto Yahweh. And Moses said unto Pharaoh, glory over me, when I shall entreat for thee and for thy servants and for thy people to destroy the frogs from thee in thy houses, that they may remain in the river only. And he said, tomorrow, and he said, be it according to thy word, that thou mayest know that there is none like unto Yahweh, our power.
All right. So we see Pharaoh might be crazy, and them just might be doing something, but he's like, listen, this one is he's doing a lot. He's like, listen, go talk to your God, you know what I mean? And they have that reference to say, listen, I'm not, I can't talk to your God. He ain't gonna favor me. Right. But nowadays, everybody like, you can do whatever you want and just talk to God. He'll just forgive you. He'll just do it. See, they even have more sense to that. Even the heathen have more sense to that. No, he said, now you go and treat your God, and tell them, can you chill out with all these frogs? All right. Let them stay in the rivers where they was at and everything. But all of them hopping around doing all this stuff, like, nah, it's too much. Okay. Some people say they could have been given disease and all that stuff. I don't know that, how far you want to go into it, but that's what some people say. Another thing about the frogs, other than just like a lot of frogs everywhere, they were saying they was actually going in everywhere and they get people getting things sick and passing diseases from the frogs. Like I said, maybe, and I'm not sure. I didn't study it. Okay. However, when it deals with the no, I'll wait to get that God out. Okay. What verse were you at?
We're on verse 11.
All right. Okay. So once again, be it according to thy word, meaning you gave your word about this. So make sure you stick with it, Pharaoh. You tell me, to stop this stuff. It says, and that what? That thou mayest know that there is none like unto the Lord our God. So once again, beloved, the whole point with everything is so people can see our God. It's not about us. Okay. Sometimes we get caught up. Some brothers and sisters get caught up and start boasting sometimes about themselves. It's not about you. It's about him. Okay? We are special because of our God. Okay? Say it again. We are special because of our God. All praises go to him. Okay? We thank him because he's merciful and he chose each and every one of us to be open to the truth. That's why we should always give him praise. But when you start thinking it's something about you, that's where what? Satan creep into that. Oh, they think it's about them. Let me keep trying to push them to elevate themselves so they can get high-minded, and what? You get caught up and get that pride fill up. And what happened with pride? It says what? Come a great fall. We come humbly before his throne. Okay? So when they come in and, oh my God, you're so this and this. And no, all praise to the most high. That's why you hear say that. All praise to him. Oh, you talked about all praise to him. Oh my God, this is so beautiful. You did it. All praise to him. Any gift that we have, beloved, anybody giving praise, direct that prayer to him because he allowed us to have it. And he allowed to shine and flourish, beloved. But we don't want to don't get caught up in that praise of man and you forget that it's the Most High that did it. All right? If you do that, the Most High he can give it, he can also do what? Take it away. Okay. And we see, I mean, we're going to see that lesson later on even with Moses, but all praise is going, there's none like him. And when you start reading these scriptures, because people, hating this person, hating this nation, that's that. When you look at this, our forefathers was pushing that even when the Most High was getting them, he said, get on them for basically they were trying to attack us and hurt us, right? Because self-preservation is a law that, the Most High have for us, right? You don't want us just all be wiped out and everything. But however, some of the things, even David was saying, listen, do this, do this, do this. Show yourself that they can see you. Everything we should be doing is so he can get the glory. Let your light shine that what? They can get elevated and get close to what? The ultimate light. Don't get mixed up with this, beloved. Well, Israel don't mean nothing if the Most High didn't touch you. Okay? So I want us to really, really focus on that. We are trying to be perfected, not for our own glory. To say, oh man, I'm living in righteousness, I'm holy and righteous. No. I want to be the best, whatever the gift is. I want to be that best individual that it can attract those to the light that I not direct them to him. I'm a teacher, Lord, let me be the best teacher in your capacity, that your sheep, when they hear me, they can hear you. And when they come, I can direct them right to you. And that's what Christ was doing. Father would bring them to Christ, and what was Christ doing? Get them right back to the Father. Yep, there's my Father, greater than I. He's doing this. And that's what we're doing, beloved. We all got the same job. Okay? Different members of the body. The Most High got us in different maybe capacities and offices, but all of it should be governed by what? The one body have one spirit, and that one spirit is from the Most High, and that's why we pushing them to him. Okay? So even as great as Moses is, his job do the same thing. Okay? All right, let's keep going, brother. Give us the verse.
Verse 11.
All right.
And the frog shall depart from thee, and from thy house, and from thy service, and from thy people. They shall remain in the river only. And Moses and Aaron went out from Pharaoh's house. And Moses cried unto Yahweh because of the frogs which he had brought against Pharaoh. And Yahweh did according to the word of Moses. And the frogs died out of the houses, out of the villages, and out of the fields.
You keep reading next story.
Oh. And they gathered them together upon heaps, and the land stank. But when Pharaoh saw that there was respite, he hardened his heart, and hearkened not unto them, as Yahweh had said. And Yahweh said unto Moses, say unto Aaron, stretch out thy rod, and smite the dust of the land, that it may become lice throughout all the land of Egypt.
Okay, so now he asks him, listen, take these frogs out. It's just too much, and then just let them be the ones that's let them stay in the rivers only, because that's where they was at. Okay, so he did kill them, and it's so much that they was making heaps of them. Right, they was gathering all these. It was so much I can't even imagine. Good Lord, you can make a little mountains full of frogs, and it was what causing the land to stink. Okay, so Egypt was not the best place to be at when all this is happening. Okay. And when you got stuff that stink, you got things that got that get attracted to that, right? Flies and all that. And then now we got what? Aaron stretched forth out his hand, and now the dust, right, of the earth, it became lice in men and in beasts. So now we have a massive lice infestation that's going on. Okay. So can't imagine that. All right. So when they were saying that, people couldn't get lice, or people go, and this time they did. All right. So it became lice to man and in beast. Okay, so everything was getting hit. Once again, you have now I'll get to that one. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. I'll get to it.
And they did so. For Aaron stretched out his hand with his rod and smote the dust of the earth, and it became lice in man and in beast. All the dust of the land became lice throughout all the land of Egypt. The magicians did so with their enchantments to bring forth lice, but they could not so. So there were lice upon man and upon beasts, and the magicians said unto Pharaoh, this is the finger of God. And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he hearkened not unto them, as Yahweh had said.
All right, so this time you see something happening, right? So now it's all this lice, right? Good Lord. Lice on people, lice on the beast. Okay. And it says the magicians, and of course, the enchantments came. Pharaoh always called them, right? The wise people coming in. Now I want to say what wise, they wise in their craft, enchantments and magicians. And they came and said, listen, we can't replicate that. That's something out of our realm of power. Okay. So at least they were, and this will show you, at least they I'm gonna say honest, but at least they knew the limits of it. They didn't even try to see, like, listen, we can't do that. So much that what did they confess? This is the finger of God. No, this is God on this. This ain't no man. This is the finger of God on this one. You know what I mean? We can't explain that. So at least they could be honest with Pharaoh. And Pharaoh was that support. I mean, their Pharaoh support system, because Pharaoh didn't know how to explain the first one, but he had somebody explain it and justify it, so that what brought relief. Okay. And sometimes this even happens today. You hear something like, man, I know that was true. You'll feel, oh my God, that was true. And then what? Somebody go over there, some chances go in there, what? Take it from you. Now you harden your heart against what you just heard. Right? It happens often. And when you look at this one, they like, listen, I can't explain that one. That one, that's truly a power that we don't have a capability of. But now what is it showing? That's to show Pharaoh was resistant. In verse 19, it says, and Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he hearkened not unto them, as the Lord has said. So yeah, he heard them and they was explaining certain things, but what? In his heart, he still what? They won't do it. Still resistant. Okay. Don't let people fool you and think, oh, what? No, every tub gonna sit on his own bottom. Okay. You have that, your mind. The Most High gave everybody a particular mind. You ain't sharing your mind. You got your own individual mind. Okay. You choose if your heart's going to be hard or not. The deceiver didn't choose it. He's just trying to distract you and chant you, all that kind of stuff. But you choose if you're going to be tricked, if you're going to go away into these things, beloved. All right. Brother Kai, where we at? I think I moved my spot.
Verse 20.
All right. Yeah, let's start there.
And Yahweh said unto Moses, rise up early in the morning, and stand before Pharaoh. Lo, he cometh forth to the water. And say unto him, thus saith Yahweh, let my people go, that they may serve me. Else, if thou would not let my people go, behold, I will send swarms of flies upon thee, and upon thy servants, and upon thy people, and into thy houses. And the houses of the Egyptians shall be full of swarms of flies, and also the ground whereon they are. And I will sever in that day the land of Goshen, in which my people dwell, that no swarm of flies shall be there, to the end that thou mayest know that I am Yahweh in the midst of the earth.
So, beloved, he's walking this stuff down. All right. He's saying, listen, let my people go that they may serve me. He give them the option. He's the Most High fair. Give them the option. But of course, he's saying, you're going to say no. But he's sending now swarms of flies. But this time, they made a distinction, verse 22. I will separate that day, the land of Goshen. All right. So now you're going to know, if you thought it was just something hitting the Egyptians, oh, everybody get hit with it. Now you're going to know, no, these people are being protected. These people not getting hit with it. All right. So these people got favor with the Most High. Okay. So he's showing that distinction, right? Because we were dwelling for the most part in the land of Goshen. So you look at this, all right, now you got the what? Flies. So when I looked at Beelzebub, even though we see that name, Beelzebub was the god of flies and uncleanness. All right, so that can go with the lice and the flies. So they had a god that deals with that. Okay, so now we got all these flies happening, coming and doing this, and all this defiling of the land, everything. That was a god that dealt with that. Okay, so like I said, the Most High, our God, is showing his power, and he's going directly at all their gods they standing for. Okay. Let's keep going.
3.
Mm-hmm.
And I will put a division between my people and thy people. Tomorrow shall this sign be. And Yahweh did so. And there came a grievous swarm of flies in the house of Pharaoh, and into his servants' houses, and into all the land of Egypt. The land was corrupted by reason of the swarm of flies. And Pharaoh called for Moses and for Aaron, and said, Go ye, sacrifice to your power in the land. And Moses said, It is not meet so to do, for we shall sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians to Yahweh our power. Lo, shall we sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians before their eyes? And will they not stone us?
Give me one more verse.
We will go 3 days' journey into the wilderness and sacrifice to Yahweh our power, as he have commanded us, as he shall command us.
So when we look at it, beloved, all right, he is separating the people. Once again, he wants us to show that distinction, okay, beloved. So this was natural aspect with the plagues, but even today, beloved, we're supposed to show a separation. It should be a separation from us and the truth and the world. It should not be so, oh man, I can't tell them. No, that ain't how it's supposed to be. All right. Our praise different. We're not supposed to be like the world. Even the churches. It should be a difference from the truth and false churches. All right. Now, devil deal in deception, right? So he's going to try to make things seem similar. All right. But we got to know the difference between something authentic and something that's not real. And you're going to get that through the Spirit or through his word. All right. His word will reveal things. You're like, wait up, that ain't going with this. Exactly. Because it got to be governed by this. Another Paul, because they love going to Paul. Even Paul talks about that, right? Prophets are subject. Spirits of prophets are subject to the prophets, all right? The spirit we have is going to be subject to these things that's written. All right, so when we look at this, once again, there's flies all around. It's making the land abominable. You know, you got this lice, so it's a very bad time. It's fair, like, listen, go and do your sacrifice to your God. Good Lord, go and do it, okay? So you can see that this is affecting him, all right? And I'm sure he's getting heat from the people because pharaohs are looked at as a certain, a lot of times as a deity of themselves, right? So you get the people questioning your deity and everything, that could bring more problems. So you're looking at this, and definitely not having no kind of explanation beforehand. Remember, you got the enchanters and everything. Oh yeah, we did this, and they can explain. Oh yeah, our God's doing this, but now they don't even have that kind of support. All right, you don't have the back in them because they can't do that. So it's a big, big issue. So he tried to say, go sacrifice to God in your land, and Moses said, what? It is not meet so to do. Nah, that ain't what the arrangement was. All right, because what he said, for we shall sacrifice the abomination of Egyptians to the Lord our God. Lo, we shall sacrifice the abomination of Egyptians before their eyes, and will they not stone us? He's saying they're going to see us sacrifice to our God, and they're going to come and try to kill us. Okay, so he's like, nah, we ain't doing that. But he said, listen, we'll do that 3-day journey that we talked about in the beginning. We're going to go in that wilderness, and then we'll sacrifice and everything. All right? So it's for the stoning aspect, and also you want to separate. You don't want to mix it like, no, you want to do your own thing here to our God. Y'all do y'all thing and to y'all gods, but no, we want to separate and do it to our God. Okay? But like, he ain't trying to get killed in the process. All right, Brother Kai. Let me make sure ain't nothing in the chat. Anybody got any questions or anything? Anything I want to explain? We good, we good, we good. All right. Brother Kai, we are at
28.
28. All right, finish it up. Finish it up.
And Pharaoh said, I will let you go, that you may sacrifice to Yahweh your power in the wilderness. Only ye shall not go very far away, entreat for me. And Moses said, Behold, I go out from thee, and I will entreat Yahweh, that the swarm of flies may depart from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people tomorrow. But let not Pharaoh deal deceitfully any more in not letting the people go to sacrifice to Yahweh. And Moses went out from Pharaoh and entreated Yahweh. And Yahweh did according to the word of Moses. And he removed the swarm of flies from Pharaoh and his servants, and from his people. There remained it not one. And Pharaoh hardened his heart at this time also, neither would he let the people go.
So should be surprised, but Pharaoh like, yeah. Just take these flies stuff away. You know, people say anything in a crisis. They're like, yeah, take that away. You know, I'll let them go. And then, of course, as soon as the Most High removed them, he like, yeah, I ain't let y'all go. Okay. And that's what people do, beloved. And this is something we have to learn, because sometimes we get upset. It can be sometimes upsetting, frustrated, but a lot of times that happens because of we don't have understanding of a situation, right? We understand, right, that people definitely, we first understand that what? The Most High have to draw somebody, right? The Most High don't draw no matter what you give and what kind of miracles you do. That ain't going to change their mindset. All right. Some people, Most High gave them that strong delusion or whatever. You can't take that off of just words. All right. That's a spiritual blocking that's put on them, a spiritual, something spiritual. You got to release that off, right? The Most High have to release that off. And you look at it, well, people play these kind of games. This is why some people don't get certain results. You got to remember, the Most High knows what our decision is going to be. He knows the future. He told him in the beginning, Pharaoh, you're going to say this thing to Pharaoh. He said, but Pharaoh is not going to let y'all go. But he's saying that's going to be for a purpose, because I'm going to hit him with all these plagues. That's how I'm going to keep doing these plagues. So Most High already showed him this is how it's going to be laid out. It's just now what? Being played out. This is why the Most High, he does some of these things. He's going to harden that some do this play. Then he's going to refute. So it looks like it's in order and everything. Pharaoh didn't know the whole plan. But the prophet knew. Mediator knew. And that's the same thing today, beloved. Sometimes the Most High give you something because he already know. Well, if I give him, I give that brother or sister this, they going to go right away from the truth. If I give them this, they're going to do this with it. See, he knows all that kind of stuff. Sometimes when he ain't answering that prayer the way you want to, sometimes he answering that prayer. Sometimes you can't handle what you asking for. Okay? And sometimes you're not going to give him glory, honor, and praise. Remember, he's a jealous God. Ain't changed. The things he's given us, are we giving him honor and praise? Or are we becoming conditional, as they say, Christians? When something goes wrong, now we're going to pray to him. Just lost something, now I'm going to pray to him. I need you. Think about it, if somebody only hits you up when they need you. I know we got people like that, beloved. We experienced that. How do you feel about people that only hit you up when they need you for something? They only concern, you know, how you doing it? Because they want something from you. That ain't a nice feeling. Right? That's them times when they doing stuff like that, they call your phone, you look at your phone, you see their name, you might put it in silent, put it back in your pocket. You don't even want to call deal with them, because you know it ain't a mutual relationship. It ain't that thing about love. It's one-sided. But this is how we treat our God. Right? When things is good, we good. Things go bad or things we don't understand. Sometimes it ain't even bad. Sometimes we don't understand the plan. You start to lose faith. You start to what? Bad mouth. We start to throw that doubt and fear, and then Satan right in there. Here go the deception. Let me throw this stuff in there. See, you was better out there in the world. See, God ain't hearing you. See, God ain't real. He throws all this stuff out there. But it shouldn't be named among us, beloved. That's why Job had to tell his wife. His wife wasn't trying to be wicked with no ill will she was doing. She was caught in a weak moment. She lost her children. People forget about that. She lost her children. Put so much emphasis on Job. She birthed all those kids. And women on here can attest to that. That's a very intimate moment to have kids. They side of you, they developing with you and everything. She ain't lose one. She ain't lose two. She ain't lose three. She lost a lot of kids, beloved. Her flesh, her blood. And she could probably understand it if they were being wicked. Looking like, what the heck is happening? And then my husband that's serving his God and talking about how this God is good and everything, it looked like God neglected him because look, he going through all this pain. He got so, and we serving him. That's where the faith's getting tested. And Job, thank God, once I was merciful with Job, then Job coming to that point was like, you gonna serve God for the good that he brings? Nah. That'll be conditional. We're not conditional servants. Good or bad, Lord, we're going to serve you. And when we get to that mindset, beloved, we get to the whether good or bad, whether we sick or we healthy, whether we rich or we poor, that's the real vows you need. That's the vows. Think about you need to be having that with the Most High. And you'll see you'll experience a whole different kind of peace. Things that you thought bothered you But until we get to that level, the Most High even try to show us that with the disciples and everything. Paul even said that. And fully persuaded. I'm persuaded that nothing, listen, I am persuaded that nothing shall separate us. What he's saying, I had a different mindset, but now I have been persuaded. See, the first one had doubt in it. It had reservation in it, right? We believe in God, but we're like, we ain't gonna jump fully into the water, right? We're gonna stick our toe in there. So you got that reservation. But there's a time in our lives where we got to be fully persuaded and just jump in. Paul, Peter, all of them, Luke, James, John, all of Moses, they all have that moment. But when they got from, I'm going to serve God, from conditional to unconditional, whether I understand what's happening, whether I'm healthy, whether I got the stuff that I feel like I should have and all that stuff. He said, when you get to that level, it don't matter, I'm going to serve you. That's when the relationship changes for the good. That's when you get in the depthness of the spirit. That's when you taking them training wheels off and can truly understand how it is to serve the Most High. But it's a decision that happens in the mind. And all we do, we keep reading, beloved. But we're reading, hopefully this stuff is sinking in that we get to that mindset. No matter what life brings, no matter what devices Satan may come to tempt me with, I'm going to serve the Most High God. What's that first and great commandment? With all my heart, my soul, my mind, and my strength. All you need is one. If you get that one, beloved, that's it. Just focus. If you can serve God with all your heart, soul, mind, strength, that's it. That's the book. That's the book. It's the fullness of the book. Serve him with everything you got. And if you serve him with everything you got, you start to realize all this other stuff is small things. All right? So let's continue to encourage one another that we can serve him, beloved. And if any of us are weak, we ask the Most High to strengthen us. All right? We want him to strengthen us. We want him to build us up. All right? He knows how we are. He knows we're frail creatures, but we ask the Most High that, he is the source of strength. Right? He is the source of power. He is the source of peace. So we ask the Most High that he just gives us all that his spirit has available for us so that we can be better servants for him. All right. And if anybody's suffering, like we always say, if anybody's going through anything, whether it's physically, mentally, spiritually, we know we have an advocate with the Father, which is his Son. All right. So let's cry out to our God for whatever it is. And we know that if it's in his will, he will deliver. Right. All right. We'll end it there. Okay. We'll end it there. Like always, we say shalom.